There is something missing from your front door right now, something that every Cherokee home had hanging by its entrance for as long as our people have had homes. Something so simple and so inexpensive that when I tell you what it is, you are going to think I am joking. I am not joking. I have never joked about this in 85 years, and I am not starting today. What I am about to tell you was told to me by my grandmother, who was told by her grandmother, who was told by hers, going back further than any of us can trace with names and dates. It has been protecting Cherokee homes and Cherokee families since before this country had a flag or a name. And somewhere along the way, somewhere between the concrete cities and the fluorescent lights, and the idea that the old ways are just stories told by old people, it got lost. Most of you have never heard this. Most of your parents never heard this. And your homes have been open in a way they were never meant to be open ever since. So listen to me closely, because I am going to fix that for you today. $1, one plant, and your threshold will never be the same again. Before I tell you which plant, I need to tell you why the door matters so much in Cherokee spiritual understanding. Because without that foundation, the plant is just a plant. And it is not just a plant. Our elders spent enormous time and attention on the threshold of the home, the doorway, the entrance, the point where the outside world makes contact with the protected space inside. They understood the threshold as the most spiritually significant boundary in a person's daily life, more significant than the walls, more significant than the roof, because the walls and the roof keep out what is physical. Rain, wind, cold. But the threshold, our medicine people said, is what keeps out what is not physical. It is the boundary between the energy of the world, everything everyone carries, everything that moves through a neighborhood, through the air, through the intentions of everyone who walks near your home, and the energy of your protected sanctuary inside. And they said very clearly that a threshold without protection is like a dam with a hole in it. Everything still gets through, just slower. And the accumulation of what gets through an unprotected threshold over months and years is what creates homes that feel heavy. Homes where arguments happen for no clear reason. Homes where the people inside are tired all the time and cannot explain why. Homes where children do not sleep well and adults do not dream well, and something always feels slightly off no matter how clean you keep the floors. Our grandmothers knew exactly what that feeling was, and they knew exactly what to hang on the door to stop it. The plant is cedar. Eastern red cedar if you are in the east, western red cedar if you are in the west, or if you cannot find cedar in your area, juniper, which is cedar's closest relative and carries much of the same spiritual authority. You can find a small bundle at almost any farmer's market, any herb shop, sometimes even a garden center. Dried cedar branches tied with natural twine, $1, sometimes free if you know where to walk. Our people never paid for cedar because cedar grew everywhere and belonged to everyone. But even if you have to pay $1 for it, I promise you it is the most important dollar you will spend this month. Now let me tell you what cedar is in Cherokee tradition, because it is not simply a plant we happen to choose. Cedar is one of the most sacred living things in Cherokee cosmology. Our people call it the tree of life, not as a poetic name, as a literal description of what the cedar tree does and what it represents. The cedar is an evergreen. It does not die in winter. It does not go dormant. It does not shed its life when the cold comes. It stays green. It stays alive. It stays standing and vital through everything the seasons throw at it. Our elders said this is not coincidence. They said the cedar was given this quality deliberately, because it was meant to be a protector, a guardian. And that guardianship is not only physical, The cedar's guardianship is spiritual. Its field is hostile to what does not belong. Our medicine people tested this over hundreds of years of careful observation. They watched what happened in homes with cedar at the door, and they watched what happened in homes without it. And the difference was not subtle. Now I want to tell you exactly how to prepare and hang the cedar, because the how matters as much as the what. This is not simply a matter of tying some branches to a nail. First, you take your cedar bundle, and before you hang it, you hold it in both hands. Both hands, not one. Two hands means two sides of yourself. The giving and the receiving, the practical and the spiritual, are both engaged, and you hold it for a full minute in silence. Just holding it, feeling the weight of it, smelling it if it still has its scent, which fresh cedar almost always does. Our medicine people said that cedar responds to intention. The way water responds to heat, it amplifies what you bring to it. If you hang it mindlessly, it works at a fraction of its capacity. If you hold it with clear intention, it works at full strength. So while you hold it, you say inwardly or outwardly. Outwardly is always stronger. You say, I'm asking you to stand guard at this door. I'm asking you to turn back what does not belong. What is dark, what is envious, what is harmful, what is heavy, let none of it pass. Our grandmothers said the cedar hears this, in the way the earth hears rain. Second, you tie the bundle with natural twine or natural cord, not synthetic, not plastic, natural fiber, cotton, jute, leather, wool, anything that came from the earth. Our elders were very particular about this. They said synthetic materials interrupt the energy field. A cedar bundle tied with plastic twine is like a door with a broken hinge. The mechanism is impaired. Use natural cord and tie it 3 times, 3 knots, each knot tied with a specific intention. Say those words as you tie each one. First knot, protection. Second knot, clarity. Third knot, peace. Say those words as you tie each one. Protection, clarity, peace. 3 words, 3 knots. Third, you hang it on the inside of the doorframe above the door or on the outside just above the entrance. Our people did both, depending on the family tradition. My grandmother always hung it on the inside just above the door frame on the right side as you face out. She said the right side is the active side, the side of intention and direction. You can hang it with a small nail or hook or simply lean it in the upper corner of the door frame where it will stay. It does not need to be elaborate. It needs to be intentional. It does not need to be elaborate. It needs to be intentional. Now I want to tell you what our grandmothers said you will notice after the cedar has been at your door for a time. The first thing you will notice is that the energy inside your home begins to feel lighter, not dramatically, not overnight, but within the first week most people report a shift. Less heaviness. Our grandmothers said this is the cedar beginning to work. It is not removing what is already inside. That is separate. It is stopping the inflow. The heaviness begins to naturalmente dissipate. The second thing you will notice is changes in who and what comes to your door. Our elders were very specific about this. They said the cedar changes the quality of what arrives. People who carry dark intentions find reasons not to come. Situations that were building toward conflict redirect themselves. Not every time, not magically, but with consistency. My grandmother said she never once had someone of genuinely dark intent enter her home through the cedar-hung door. Not because they were physically stopped, because something in them turned them away. The third thing is related to your sleep and the sleep of everyone in the home, particularly children. Cherokee grandmothers hung cedar at the entrance to the rooms where children slept. They said children are more open than adults, less defended, more permeable to what moves through a space, and a child in a protected room sleeps differently, deeper, quieter, less night-waking, less of the unnamed fears that children carry. If you have children who do not sleep well, address the threshold of their room, cedar above the door, 3 knots, 3 intentions. Now let me tell you how often to replace the cedar. Replace it with the seasons, 4 times a year, at the turning points of the year. When the season changes, the old bundle comes down. You thank it for its work, you burn it, always burn the old cedar, never simply throw it in the trash. Burning releases what it collected back to the fire where it can be transformed. And you hang a fresh bundle with fresh intention and fresh knots. 4 times a year. $1 4 times a year. $4 of protection for your entire home. Our grandmothers did not think of this as expense. They thought of it as the most basic responsibility a person has to the people who live under their roof. And I want to close with something my grandmother said to me the first time she let me help her hang the cedar. I was probably 7 years old, and I asked her, "Grandmother, does this really work?" And she looked at me with that look she had, the one that was not impatient but that was completely finished with foolish questions. And she said, "Clara, ask me that again in 70 years. And I never asked her again, because I never needed to. 78 years of cedar at my door. Not one moment of true darkness has settled inside this home. Not one. Go hang your cedar. May it protect your home and your family for many generations to come.